Welcome to BBC Motor Reviews channel. Ducati SUPERSPORT, 2017 to 2021, review. But with its simple, modestly powered V-twin engine, all wrapped up in a sweet handling chassis, Ducati's new SUPERSPORT has more than enough power for the road and will dance through your favorite corners with ease. It isn't sports tour comfy, but it's practical enough for commuting and long trips away. A genuine everyday sports bike. Without an excess of power to worry about, you can concentrate on wringing the most out of the Ducati's relatively heavy, but rock-solid stable monster-based chassis and well-set, fully adjustable Marzocchi forks and Sachs rear shock, adjustable for preload and rebound. Steering is effortless and things never get out of shape, no matter how hard you push, how low you lean, or how bumpy the roads are. Ducati claims the SUPERSPORT will keel to 48 degrees before metal scrapes tarmac. The ride is plush, controlled, and the standard Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3 tires give immense road grip. They're especially impressive in the wet. The SUPERSPORT has the poise through the corners to keep up with a race replica on the road, and the ABS-assisted M4.32 Brembo monoblock radial calipers give Ducati superbike levels of fadeless power and feel. You also get the added security of traction control, but the power modes are a bit pointless. Urban and touring modes make the Ducati feel like you're riding with the brakes stuck on. Sport is the only mode to select for instant, free-revving acceleration. One thing the SUPERSPORT isn't is a tourer. Yes, your magnetic tank bag will snap nicely to the 16-liter steel fuel tank, and the tall, thin screen is two-way manually adjustable, but the riding position is sporty, even if it doesn't fold you in half and inside out like a tortuous race replica. The SUPERSPORT has a bum-friendly seat and relatively generous legroom, but taller riders will still need to bend their legs a long way to get their toes on the foot pegs. And while the handlebars are mounted high on risers, it's still a fair stretch to reach them, forcing you to ride with straight arms, so things get a bit wristy on long jaunts. Compared to a conventional sports bike, you'll cover longer distances with less stress, but the SUPERSPORT isn't the last word in comfort that some may have hoped for. The 113 brake horsepower liquid-cooled 937 cubic centimeters V-twin is a retuned hypermotored 939/Multistrada 950 unit. Despite its modest power, the big V-twin motor is tuned for sporty riding with a revised crankcase and cylinder heads. The ride-by-wire throttle is friendly, but the reworked engine doesn't have that instant, explosive, wheelie-inducing thrust you get with the unhinged, foaming-at-the-mouth hypermotored 939. Instead, the engine is tuned for a longer spread of power. There isn't a whole lot of grunt at low RPM, so you have to work the motor hard for best results. The more you rev it, the deeper and harder-edged the engine note becomes, and the quicker the scenery blurs around you. For everyday riding, the engine is flexible and can be ridden at lazy revs and high gears, but you'll need a flurry of left-foot activity and a big handful of throttle to make fast getaways. Of course, there's more than enough power for the road, but experienced sports bike riders will want for more, and it does lack a certain fun factor. But like the old 90s and early 90s Ducati SUPERSPORT, your speed comes less from point and squirt and more from maintaining momentum and carving perfect, high-speed arcs through fast corners. It's here where the new SUPERSPORT excels. Build quality is superb, and there are lots of nice Ducati detailing touches, like the milled ollie top yoke and a repeat of the bike's face on the plastics surrounding the dash. Now that the SUPERSPORT has been around for a few years now, we've had a chance to see how durable it is, and judging by all the gushing owners' reviews here, the Ducati won't let you down. Despite being new for 2021, Aprilia's RS660 is the closest to the Ducati in spirit, and it too is a 100-ish bhp sports bike with great road handling, lots of tech, and a sensible riding position. With a curb weight of just 183 kilograms, it's lighter and more fun. Both are stylish and well built, but the Ducati just edges in the quality stakes. You might also consider the less powerful but much cheaper Honda CBR650R, which also has a less aggressive riding position than a traditional SUPERSPORT. The Honda is less charismatic than the Ducati but is still a great bike in its own right. This has been updated for 2021 to show a separate function big piston forks. If you want a more aggressive riding experience without having to go all the way up to a 200 brake horsepower superbike, the Ducati Panigale 959 of the time is also an attractive proposition. The base SUPERSPORT comes with a high level of chassis and electronics spec, but there's also an S model. It has the same motor, chassis, electronics and Brembo brakes, but comes with fully adjustable Öhlins forks and shock, a seat cowl and a quick shifter/auto blipper, which you can also fit as an accessory to the standard machine. The Öhlins and electronic shifter adds an extra layer of control and sophistication. It offers a plusher, more controlled ride, gear changes are snappier and you never have to use the clutch, other than when pulling away and stopping. With their easy power, safe electronics, supple chassis and generous ground clearance, both the standard and S models will make superb track day bikes for less experienced riders. As you'd expect, there are lots of official accessories available, including a sport pack, including carbon and billet ollie trinkets and flip-up levers. The Urban Pack comes with a tank bag, alarm, rubber foot peg inserts, and you get a taller screen, heated grips and panniers with touring pack. Welcome to BBC Motor Reviews channel. Moto Morini Saiamezzo SCR, 2022 on review. It's why bikes coming from newly revived classic brands like Fantic, Royal Enfield, Benelli and BSA are so appealing. Not only are they great to ride, nicely built and sport evocative badges, you don't have to pay through the nose for the privilege. And now Moto Morini are back to slot nicely into that groove. An Italian brand with a rich, but sometimes rocky history, they're more recently known for creating niche, uber-expensive bombastic V-twins like the Corsaro. But since 2018 they've become part of the Chinese Zhongning vehicle group and their future looks altogether brighter. The fruits of the new tie-up, where models are designed and developed in their factory on the outskirts of Milan and made in China, are now here to enjoy. Their first new bikes are powered by CF Moto-produced 650 cubic centimeters parallel twins, based on the old Kawasaki ER6 lump, but more models are planned, powered by different engines, including the resurgence of the 1,200 cubic centimeters V-twin. Their adventure-styled X-Cape was the first to appear earlier this year. You can read our review here. And now there's the new Saiamezzo, meaning 6½ in two flavors, the Roadster-styled STR and this SCR Scrambler. Moto Morini have remained true to their roots with the new machines. Its Chinese-built engine may not have the most characterful soundtrack or the sparkle of some its rivals, but it's a superbly put-together motorcycle that has all the DNA of an Italian thoroughbred without a sky-high price tag. The motor may not be the star of the show, but the power is smooth, easy to manage, but the way it's equipped, rides and handles impresses the most. The SCR with its wider bars, fly screen and plusher suspension setup is our pick of the two Saiamezzo versions. The bars and pegs are positioned perfectly, controls are light and the front brake and clutch levers are adjustable. It's nicely proportioned and easy to get your feet down, making it easy to handle at low speed, but tall riders will still have plenty of room to move around. A small fly screen, absent on the STR version, serves to keep some of the flies out of your teeth. Thanks to its quality chassis parts and testing know-how of Morini's Italian development team, the Saiamezzo handles and rides superbly. The SCR is plush, controlled, nimble and as happy to potter through town as to rail enthusiastically through corners with stability and accuracy. Front and rear braking power is superb, too, and the ABS never intrudes too early or robs the Brembos of their feel. There are no rider modes or traction control, but on such a fine handling bike with friendly power, they're never missed. Performance from the Moto Morini's 649 cubic centimeters, 60 brake horsepower parallel twin won't blow your socks off, but a bike like this isn't supposed to be about mind-melting performance. When you're cruising to the coffee shop, 50 miles per hour feels like 50 miles per hour, whether it's on a Morini or a scrambler costing thousands more. It's a friendly engine with a linear spread of power and a smooth throttle response that's light years more refined than the last of Morini's injected V-twins. It'll also deliver a healthy turn of speed when asked and has a claimed top whack of 109 miles per hour. One thing the engine isn't is exciting, and that's the only chink in the Saimetso's armor, especially the exhaust note that's more of a deep drone than the snap, crackle or pop of a big single or V-twin. That's not something that should spoil your day, but the soundtrack doesn't live up to its looks. On the plus side, Morini claims 54 miles per gallon, which adds up to a useful 191 miles from its 16-liter tank. You may have preconceptions about Chinese-built motorcycles, and many will be justified, but the Morini feels anything but a rattly, thrown-together, cut-price machine. It has a tight, premium feel, which is no surprise when you look at how it's screwed together. Build quality, fit and finish is superb, from the paint to the detailing. There's no reason to think that little tried and tested lot won't be anything other than reliable, and the same goes for the engine, which has proved to be bomb-proof over the years. Similarly priced scrambler rivals take the shape of the 6,749-pound single-cylinder Fantic Caballero, parallel twin 6,599-pound CF Moto 700 CLX, and you're looking the thick end of $8,000 upwards for your premium Ducatis, Triumphs, BMW and CCMs. The new Moto Morini Saimetso SCR will hold its head up high against any of them. LED lights, backlit switchgear buttons, a 5 inches TFT color dash, a fully adjustable Kayaba rear shock and gold-colored forks, tubeless spoked wheels, a snazzy retro saddle, Brembo calipers, Bosch ABS, and quality Pirelli MT60 RS dual-purpose tires. Other versions. The cheaper STR, it's identical to the SCR, save for narrower bars and Pirelli Angel GT Sports touring tires instead of knobless. It still uses an 18 inches front wheel, not a 17 inches, an unusual choice for a modern roadster, but it's at no detriment to the way it rides. It has a sportier feel, both in terms of riding position and a firmer suspension setup that doesn't ride bumps as well, but softening the compression damping would give it the plusher feel of the SCR.